You sit in trepidation at the jumping off point, your will hardened knowing that there is a job that needs to get done and your patrol is the one to do it. You'll be making your way across no man's land and maybe into the enemy's trenches. With your objective clear in your mind, your patrol starts to move forward in Trench Raid, which was designed by Lisa Smedman and published by Compass Games, who helped sponsor this video. Hi everybody, my name is Nick Murphy of the Brothers Murph and we are here with Board Game Geek. Well, it's time to complete this objective, so let's get this game down to the table to go a little more in focus on Trench Raid. Trench Raid is a solo game where players will command a patrol on the World War I Western Front. You will have a specific objective you'll be trying to accomplish, and this objective can either take place in no man's land or in the enemy trenches across the board. At the beginning of the game, you will roll a d6 to determine which kind of objective, and then you will roll again to determine the specific objective. So if we first rolled a 4, our objective takes place in no man's land, and if we then rolled a 3, the specific objective would be rescuing a wounded pilot who crashed down in no man's land. You will have a patrol of soldiers, which generally includes an officer, bombers, carriers, riflemen, and an NCO. All soldiers will have various equipments and special skills that you will get to choose at the beginning of the game. On a turn, you will advance your raiding party 1 hex in any direction. You will start at the jumping off point here and you will move across no man's land. After you move into a new hex, you will roll a d6 to see if there's a no man's land event that happens. The die roll that will trigger an event will depend on what kind of terrain you are in. For example, if we're in a ruined building hex and we rolled a 1 or a 2, an event would happen. If an event triggers, you will then roll a d20 to determine which specific one you encounter, with possibilities ranging from seemingly innocuous things like finding equipment to the dangerous challenges of lingering mustard gas or enemy snipers. Throughout the game, your soldiers will be required to do different actions like speed actions, fight actions, etc. How many dice a soldier gets to roll is determined by their stats. For example, a fight action requires strength, and this bomber here has a strength of 3, therefore they will roll 3 dice. 5 and 6s are considered successes, and how many successes needed depends on the level of difficulty of the action. An average difficulty requires 1 success, difficult requires 2 successes, and very difficult requires 3. When doing actions, soldiers can use luck to reroll dice, but luck is limited and can get used up. If the soldier fails an action, they will need to see if it was botched. They will roll the red botched die, and if they roll a 1, the worst possible outcome happens and the various events will tell you what happens. You do not want to roll a 1 on the botched die, especially because luck cannot be used during this roll. Failure of actions or events will often cause your soldiers to get wounded. Various body parts can get wounded and to different severities. Being wounded hinders your soldiers and causes them to roll less dice during actions. For example, a serious head wound means this officer rolls 2 less dice on all actions. After the raiding party moves and determines whether or not there's an action, you will then map any empty hexes around them. For each unexplored hex, you will roll 2 d6s and then consult this chart to see what's there. The various terrain can help or hinder your party. For example, barbed wire blocks your way and needs to be cut through, or you have to go around, wasting time. On top of no man's land, if your objective requires you to be in the enemy trenches, you will have to venture there as well. While here, you will map out the trench 1 hex at a time as you move through, and spoiler alert, there tends to be enemies in those trenches. You will win the game once you complete your objective and make it back to your own trench. If you would like to develop your raiding party over the course of the war, you can then do some housekeeping and head right back out in a 5-game campaign. In this campaign, your soldiers will become veterans in the process, and that is a quick look at Trench Raid. Trench Raid is all about commanding your patrol and getting that objective done. There are 12 different objectives, 6 in no man's land and 6 in the enemy's trench. And as you're going across no man's land, you're mapping it out as you go, so no 2 raids will ever be the same. Can you keep your men alive long enough to get the job done and get back safely? If Trench Raid seems like a game you'd enjoy, make sure to check it out to learn more. And until next time, I've been Nick Murphy and we've been going in focus on Trench Raid. Have a great day.